Hey guys, welcome back to Minecraft The Lost Journals. Today we're going to be reading chapter 24. It's titled Allison's Boots All Over Again. Starts on page 225 and goes to page 228. If you guys have enjoyed this novel so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Minecraft The Lost Journals. Without further ado, chapter 24. Allison didn't know what to expect when they brought Nicholas back, but when he gave her a look that was nothing but compassion, and she realized he was missing her grandma as much as she was, she burst into tears. Nicholas opened his arms and she ran in for a hug. I keep feeling like I could have stopped it, she whispered, and I keep feeling like I could have helped if I didn't run had if I hadn't run away here, he said, but there's probably nothing we could have done. No, Allison, I'm so sorry. I never got to tell your grandma that she was right about almost everything. I still can't believe something as mundane as a creeper took out that old adventurer. He held her at her arm's length. But you know what she would say to us right now, don't you? Allison sniffled. Probably something like, a lady never cries at an inappropriate moment. Now wipe those tears off your face. You can cry when you're home safe. Nicholas smiled. Exactly. So wait, you knew about your grandparents and my uncle? Max asked as he watched them. I only just figured it out after you left, she said, holding up the book she'd been reading. I found her journal. Nicholas smiled as he looked at the well preserved book, gently taking it from Allison and turning it over in his hands. She'd want you to keep this safe, he said after a moment, handing it back to her. He gently patted her on the shoulder, then turned to Max. We need to get you kids safely home. What do you have ready to go? Max looked sheepish for a moment before explaining that they'd used most of their supplies to find him. Before Uncle Nicholas could say anything, Freya began listening what they've done and giving jobs to everyone. Allison shared a grin with Max, and behind Freya's back before she turned to her assignment. Inventory, current supplies in the various chests. She reached into her pack and pulled out a list she'd already made, but everyone had already started busily working on their own jobs. Bunny Biter sat at Freya's feet as she brewed potions in the corner. Max prepared food, and Uncle Nicholas unpacked the supplies he'd brought. As he patiently answered the questions Max prepared him with it prepped him with as he worked. Allison watched as Nicholas shelved the enchanting books he'd brought with him. He did it with the care of a father putting a baby to bed. She was nervous, knowing what she did about this man now, and the kindness he'd shown her. She didn't want to be a thief, but she had also seen the wreckage his enchanting had caused. She didn't want to see him enchant something that put them all in danger. Even if he did by accident, her mind wandered back to all the havoc he had inadvertently caused with fermented spider eyes, and she shivered. Yes, she was impressed with Nicholas's innovation with the cursed armor, but he still made her nervous. And even though the stories Nicholas was telling about his adventures with Grandma Dia were very entertaining, she had to admit that one common thread connected them all. Grandma Dia hadn't trusted Nicholas to make good decisions on his own. Not when they were younger, and not when they were older. Then again, no one had expected Allison to make her own decisions either. And she was actually careful. She owed him the benefit of the doubt, hoping he had learned from all the disasters. She certainly said. She walked over to one of the chests, opened it, and replaced the eyes of Ender that she had originally planned to hide from him. They belonged to Nicholas. Boots was no longer around to guide him, but Allison hoped he would make good decisions anyway. Finally, the group relaxed on the floor, all of them free from the confining armor, except Max, with spare banners beneath them to make it more comfortable. You know I ran before they found you, he said sadly. I was so ashamed. I couldn't look Rose in the face. I had gone to the Nether several times long ago, but each time was with Boots. I had never ventured there a few times more recently by myself, and was more and more interested in taking you there. Once you were gone, I lost my head a bit, enchanted a bunch of things, and then just ran through the portal. But now you found me, and we can go home. We took a drink from his canteen. I think I'm ready. Allison was about to interrupt, but Max perked up and said, You're coming with us? Uncle Nicholas nodded. You need someone to escort you there, and I owe you some actual guardianship rather than just being a bad example. And I've already failed you so many times. Even when I wasn't around, he said, gesturing to Max's steel equipped armor. It's what Boots would expect from me. Allison chuckled. She would not. She would say you were a fool for coming back here and likely getting yourself into your own mess. Nicholas held up a finger. Ah, but what would she say once she was done yelling at me? Just get those kids out safely so I can be angry in the privacy of my own home. Allison finished, and they both laughed. I guess you're right. She cleared her throat and grew serious, but the portal was gone. We have no idea where it is. We got chased and lost, and now can't even begin to backtrack. What do you suggest we do? Nicholas scratched his scraggly beard. What would Boots do? After she was done yelling, she would take an inventory, get the bare minimum of obsidian, or, Allison thought hard, the answer right at the tip of her tongue. Or make it, Max said. We're surrounded by lava. All we need is a source for lava and a diamond pickaxe. We've got the pickaxe, Freya said, and we are definitely not short of on lava. We just need to find the source of one of these lakes. That won't be hard. Nicholas got to his feet, looking tired but determined. Who wants to go home? That wraps up chapter 24. I hope that you guys enjoyed. And if you did, hit that like button, and I will see you next time.